Train the muscles, not the joints. So welcome back to another Natural Gallant bodybuilding vlog, and today I'm going to be training a whole body workout, minus biceps and calves, but I'm going to be getting most of my body parts in. And sorry about the scary music in the beginning there. I totally set out and making the best electronic dance music ever, really uplifting, all that kind of stuff, and what came out was Stranger Things type horror chase music. I have no idea why, but I'm just going to go with it, and Halloween's coming up in a month or so anyway, or a month and a half, 2 months, depending on when you're watching this video. So the fact is that I'm just going to go with it. I'm going to let it sit there. That Stranger Things type music is great. And the thing is that I guess I've been just watching too much of that show lately, so if you guys haven't checked out Stranger Things on Netflix, you really check it out. It's a great show. I've watched it at least 4 times now. And you'll be able to watch it all in basically one day, day and a half, 2 days, and you'll see all the episodes on Netflix, and it's great. Anyway, so most of you guys that haven't grown up in the 80s, you don't really get the 80s, you don't really understand, but when you're a kid in the 80s, you really got a chance to break bones and really see your limitations. So which is probably why I'm doing YouTube videos now on how to train and avoid injury and all this kind of stuff, because in the 80s we weren't buffered, you know, we weren't raised with a little bubble around us of, oh my god, you better not walk home from school because somebody's going to get you, that kind of stuff. In the 80s, I mean, it was regular for a 6 or 7 year old to be walking home for a mile to school, you know, and they just basically got home when they got home. You know, you had to use an actual watch, and you had to actually get somewhere on time. There was no cell phones to check in. There was no, and even those walkie-talkies on Stranger Things.
Lucas, do you copy? This is urgent. I'm serious.
Yep, and that's about the way it would have went. I never had any sort of walkie-talkie or radio that was that effective. I mean, most of the time you could get about 15 or 20 feet away with them, and then the batteries would be going dead, so there was really no communication. You were really dependent on sticking to a schedule and making sure that you didn't harm yourself when your parents weren't looking, you know? So the ones that survived the 80s actually are pretty probably commonsensical people, but the guys that didn't survive, well, it's too bad, you know? I guess that was the risk of that decade. Well, let's see if me sharing my knowledge with you can help you survive this decade, you know, and at least get out of it without snapping something up. I can't guarantee anything because, you know, I think it's just part of the game, and that's why I've, you know, released that video just recently about injuries, you know, because, you know, it's impossible to train and push yourself to the extreme without actually getting injured at some point. That's just part of it, right? There's just no way of avoiding it. So far you've seen me do some chest, back. Was that a foot? Was that just a foot in front of my camera? I think it was a foot. Okay, you're gonna meet Stefano here. He's always throwing kicks and flying around the gym, throwing his legs all over the place, but I've got something in store for him, so just stay tuned for that. Don't worry, I got something ready for him. So anyway, what I've done is train some chest, some back, and some shoulders already, and you notice a lot of times when I train shoulders, I train rear delt, side delt, or rotator cuff. 70% of the time, that's what I do. Then the other 30% of the time, I'll do shoulder presses, because shoulder presses are a great movement. I love them. It's just that you work a lot of front delt when you're doing chest, so I tend to work the side delts to balance things out.
Come on, man. Yeah, that's right.
Well, I guess he didn't like it when I goaded him on, eh? Yeah. Well, don't stick your foot in front of the camera, eh? Then you won't get goaded on a little bit, eh? Yeah. Okay, there he is. Okay, he's in good mood. So yeah, so here I am doing some rear delts and stuff. What? Okay, that's it. I'm done with that. Okay. Take that, yeah. So I guess you'll think twice before you kick my camera or kick me in the back of the head when I'm doing shoulders, okay? Yeah, okay, good. Now that I can move on my workout here. So anyway, yeah, as you notice, I'm doing rear delts a lot of times, rotator cuff, just because I'm trying to balance those areas out. So you want to try to bring balance to the body, and if you have too much front delt or chest tightness and then no rear delt or back tightness, you know, or strength or whatever you want to call it, you'll notice that your shoulders will round forward, and then that can start impinging the shoulders and causing shoulder injuries and that sort of thing. So you want to bring more balance to your movements. You want to bring more balance to your body, and that's the great thing about bodybuilding, is that you can watch what's happening with your body and then choose the exercises accordingly. So from there I went to tricep press downs, and what I want to say is that not all tricep press downs are created equal. And what I mean by this is the exercise itself. Some people perform the press down while they're staying straight up and down and they keep the elbows back. Sometimes they perform the press down by actually pushing, kind of like a close grip bench. They bend right over the barbell or the actual handles and then push. And then other times people will bend over to stretch the long head of the tricep. So really, when you think of it, the tricep exercise can be put into 3 different categories: the stretching, the contracting, and the pressing. Okay, there's 3 different movements that actually really will hit the tricep, and each one will hit different heads. Depending on how you're built and everything will depend on the head, okay, depending on the exercise. So what I want to say is, when I perform my tricep press down, I'll do a few different variations within the same set. Sometimes you'll see me do super strict where I keep the elbows back, and then sometimes I'll bring the elbows forward and then I'll bring the hands up more just to get a little bit more of a stretch in the long head. And you just notice that I just took a step forward there because I'm trying to change the angle. So this is a way that you can increase the intensity on press downs. You can actually adjust the movement as you're going, you know, and it always helps to get some encouragement from another gym member. Hey, Nihan? Yeah, strong like Nihan, strong like Nihan. So what you can do is just really change your movement as you're doing it just to get the absolute failure. So you might start off super strict and you might start off with a certain movement, and then from there you move to a bent over type movement where you're stretching the long head, or maybe you're going to a pressing type movement. You just start moving from a press down, like an extension, right into a pressing type movement with the press down, okay? These are all ways that you can increase the length of the set and go deeper into failure, okay? So I hope that helps you out a little bit. But yeah, try that out next time you do tricep press downs. So this is the final exercise of the workout. I decided to do one-legged squats, and I decided to stick light today and just work on form, just work on stability, and trying to match both legs, you know, so they move identically. And of course, this is never going to be the case. So there's always going to be an imbalance, or a strong leg or a weaker leg. And like I've talked about before, sometimes your weaker leg or your more uncoordinated leg might have more muscle mass on it. That's just kind of the way it is, right? So I try to start with my smaller leg first, or my weaker leg, depending on what that is at what stage of my training, because it's kind of gone back and forth. Because sometimes if I have a weak side, I'll start with that side all the time, and then eventually it becomes my strong side, and then move back to the other side again, right? So this is a good sign. It means your training's working, right? When your weak side becomes your strong side at some point, that's a great sign. So yeah, I just did about 4 sets of this just to finish it off. And sometimes I'll do this, especially with the whole body workouts. I'll do workouts that are just kind of stretching movements and just getting the pump, you know, getting the muscle coordination in there, getting the blood flow into the sore muscles. And sometimes you're really sore, so it doesn't make sense to be going into super heavy weight on a sore day. You're already sore, the muscles are already beat up, so now you want to pump blood in there. So on days that you're sore, work on more pumping blood into the area. This might help alleviate some of the soreness, and at the same time it may help you gain strength and gain more size, okay? So that's just a fun fact or fun tip for you from Natural Gallant Bodybuilding. So so take that with a grain of salt, try it out, see if it works. And if you guys have any questions, just make sure you email me at naturalgallantbodybuilding.com or comment down below. And thanks a lot to all you guys that have been sharing my stuff and helping me get my teachings out there and all that kind of stuff. And take care for now. So you know, I have some music for purchase at naturalgallantbodybuilding.com, and I make all my music for my videos. The music that's playing in the background right now, I made that too. But if you want to check it out or buy some music, and if you want to use it in your own videos, just shoot me an email and we'll talk about it and go from there. But yeah, check it out at naturalgallantbodybuilding.com. So thanks for watching, and take care for now.